Hello, Dark Reader, and welcome to the Dark Side of the Library podcast. I'm your host, Katie. Today on this, actually it's a full episode, really, we're going to be talking about some new comic releases that were, I guess, released in August. There's quite a few that I'm really excited about, but first, before we begin, I just want to let you guys know, Halloween is coming up, spooky season, so we're going to be live streaming. So if this is something that's of interest to you, join us on our Amazon Live channel at amazon.com/live/Dark Side of the Library. And we're actually doing something a little different. We're going to be doing a Hocus Pocus cook-along. So we've got the Hocus Pocus cookbook. You can join that over on our Facebook channel. Just make sure to answer the questions, and then you'll be let in. It'll be really fun. I guarantee it. There's a lot of very cool recipes in that cookbook. And as always, if there are comics or any book that you are interested in that we talk about, make sure to check out our show notes, which is at darksideofthelibrary.com. Or on your favorite listening app. We have a whole host of different affiliate links. It really helps us out. All right, now we're going to move on to the actual comics. The first one is a huge thing, at least for me. I grew up on Preacher, and so when I saw the Absolute Preacher 1, the 2023 edition, I about fell over. But this would be a magnificent Christmas gift. I might have to persuade my significant other to maybe put this on his list of gift ideas. This came out August 8th. This is by the one and only Garth Ennis, and Steve Dillon is the illustrator. This comic changed my life and changed how I viewed comic books. I was pretty young when I started reading this, and I probably shouldn't have been. Anyway, so here's what this is about. Jesse Custer was just a small-town preacher in Texas until his congregation was flattened by powers beyond his control, and the preacher became imbued with abilities beyond anyone's understanding. Now possessed by Genesis, the unholy offspring of an angel and demon, Jesse holds Word of God, an ability to command anyone or anything with a mere utterance, and he'll use this power to hold the Lord accountable for the people he has forsaken. From the ashes of a small-town church to the bright lights of New York City to the backwoods of Louisiana, Jesse cuts a righteous path across the soul of America in his quest for the divine, an effort that will be met by every evil that heaven and earth can assemble. Joined by his gun-toting girlfriend Tulip and the hard-drinking Irish vampire Cassidy, Jesse will stop at nothing to fulfill his quest to find God. This is really a fantastic story. I honestly did not get drawn into the show. It just has a very different feel, and the art in Preacher is really great. It really changed how, like I said, how I saw comics. It was really influential in my life, and the story is just dark and crazy, surreal. So check out Absolute Preacher. We also have the Absolute Sandman Overture edition, which came out August 22nd. This is by, of course, Neil Gaiman, and we have J.H. Williams III, who did the illustrations. This is Overture. This is only 416 pages, but this is like a big, this is a huge hardcover of the Sandman Overture. I love Sandman, so definitely check this out. Look inside. This is another wonderful gift you can give to somebody for if they also are just a huge Sandman fan. It collects all of Overtures 1 through 6, and Neil Gaiman has won many awards, especially for his Sandman series. So check that one out too. Now on to some newer stuff. We have a comic called The Approach. This came out August 22nd. This is by Jeremy Haun, Jason A. Hurley, and Jesus Hervas. So it is a standalone tale. This is for fans of Joe Hill's Reign and 30 Days of Night. I hope this is like vampires. Okay, let's check it out. When airport employees Mac and Abigail find themselves snowed in after a blizzard, they witness a terrible plane crash, one that's been missing for 27 years. But it's not the sky that deserves dread, but what lies beyond it. Mac, Abby, and the remaining airport crew feel helpless to stop the rampage of a supernatural predatory stowaway. But with the blizzard continuing to rage and the creature nesting in the airport, how will the stranded people survive? It's a turbulent horror miniseries. A storm's coming, and it's bringing more than just bad weather. Cute. Oh boy. So this is called The Approach. The art inside is really cool. I'm looking forward to it. It looks really fun. Very over the top. It has a lot of movement. I don't know how to describe it. You can find it in our show notes and check out some of those shots. I have posted like one in here, but check out more. All right, next up on our list is Damn Them All. This is by Simon Spurrier and Charlie Adlard. This came out August 15th. This is by Boom Studios as well as the previous one. It's a supernatural thriller. For some of you guys might recognize Something is Killing the Children, and we have demons. And what's most recognizable of this entire series is our artist is actually the same artist that did The Walking Dead. This, I think, is going to be kind of a big deal. So here's what the story is about. Meet Ellie, or also called Bloody Elle Hawthorne, a cultist for hire. After the death of her uncle Alfie, an infamous magician and occult detective, the 72 devils of the Ars Goetia are mysteriously freed from their infernal realm. Well, that's fun. It's now up to Ellie to track each of these demons and damn them right back to hell, using holy water, conjuration, or just her trusty rusty claw hammer. Meanwhile, Dora, a detective who's traumatized by the same events as Ellie, is suspicious of the untimely death of Alfie. As new terrors unfold, the two witness strange changes to the political landscape of Britain, a gibbering madness infecting the population. Alfie's meddling made more than just the mortal realm a nightmare, so it's up to Bloody Elle to set things right, with only, eternity at stake. So this follows an anti-hero that's very similar to like John Constantine, so I know I'm definitely going to enjoy it. It has some fairly decent reviews already, and the art, of course, is notable from the artist of The Walking Dead. So this is Damn Them All by Simon Spurrier and Charlie Adlard. Next on our list is another pretty big deal comic. It is A Guest in the House. This is by Emily Carroll, who's done at least one comic that I tend to read. She definitely focuses on these dark folk tales, so I'm excited because this is like just one giant horror story. It's 256 pages. After many lonely years, Abby's just gotten married. She met her new husband, a recently widowed dentist, when he arrived in town with his daughter seeking a new start. Although it's strange living in the shadow of her predecessor, Abby does her best to be a good wife and mother. But the more she learns about her new husband's first wife, the more things just don't add up. Abby starts to wonder, was Sheila's death really by natural causes? As Abby sinks deeper into confusion, Sheila's memory seems to become a force all of its own, ensnaring Abby in a mystery that leaves her obsessed, fascinated, and desperately in love for the first time in her life. Ooh, this is interesting. This is definitely more adult than her anthology that she had. The art just looks phenomenal. I highly recommend this. It moves, it's wild, it's really cool. This is A Guest in the House by Emily Carroll. Next up, we have Hellaween. This is by Moss Lawton, and this is published by Razorbill. This is definitely for mid-grade readers. So a little bit of a kid's book that got slipped into here. So learning to become a witch is hella difficult. Luckily, Gwen can always count on her two best friends in the whole world for help. Except Sloane and Miles aren't exactly from this world. They're from the Hollowlands, a monstrous realm which they can only leave as the year creeps towards Halloween. This year, Gwen is determined to flex her magical skills. Armed with the first ever grimoire, she's hoping her friends will finally see that she has what it takes to leave boring suburbia behind and join them in Hollowlands. Except, Gwen hadn't counted on Hero, a local kid obsessed with hunting the supernatural, When he and his reluctant sidekicks start making trouble for them, the Monster Squad will have to fight to avoid having their secrets exposed, or worse. But when Gwen's quest to prove herself leads to a string of unintended consequences, the 5 of them may just have to band together to take on something more nightmarish than being a teen. This is called Hellaween. This is by Lawton. Next up, another witchy graphic novel by Image Comics. It's Hexware. This is the first volume, and it came out August 15th. This is by Tim Seeley and Zulema, Scotto, Lavina. Why sell your soul when you can buy a new one? In a corporate-ruled city where class inequality is greater than ever, a desperate, lonely populace is drawn to neo-spiritualism and hedge magic. This is sounding familiar. When their teen daughter is murdered, the Marks family is left asking the gods, what did they do to deserve this? But their android maid, Witchware, has a different approach. Perhaps if she asked the devil. Now to pay the price. A machine with the soul of a teenage girl must hunt down souls who have escaped from hell. But on the way, she and her only friend Ren discover a vast conspiracy threatening to burn the last civilization down to the ground. Can Witchware keep her soul with her humanity on the line? Okay, I like this. This sounds really interesting. A very different approach. I like the mix of science and neo-spiritualism mixed in. So we have Hexware, Volume 1. This is by Tim Seeley and Zulema, Scotto, Lavina. Next on our list is a Mike Mignola comic, so of course it's going to be awesome. It is Koschei in Hell. This comes out September 5th. It got pushed a little bit. This is by Ben Stenbeck. I don't know why I'm saying oh no, because this podcast is probably going to be out very soon, and it'll be around during September. Sorry. Anyway, so we have an old god and powerful foe is returning, and Koschei must take up his sword and defend the city from destruction. Mignola returns to Hell to reunite with one of his favorite collaborators. So we have Ben Stenbeck, who's done Frankenstein Underground, Witchfinder is a big one, The Service of Angels, etc. We have Koschei in Hell, volumes 1 through 4, all in this book. It is 144 pages, published by Dark Horse Comics. The world may be over, and Hellboy gone with it, but Koschei is still in hell, content with his wine and his books, until an old face arrives and brings Koschei a critical task. It's gonna be good. That's why it's such a short description. This is Koschei in Hell. This comes out September 5th. Next up, we have one that's, this one's interesting. So it's Mother Nature. It came out August 8th. This is actually by Jamie Lee Curtis, and Russell Goldman also contributes as an author. Our illustrator is Carl Stevens. It is a debut graphic novel, and apparently Mother Nature is a film, or this was adapted from her script from the film Mother Nature, which honestly, I have to be honest, I haven't even heard of or seen. Maybe you have. Let's see what this story is about. After witnessing her engineer father die in mysterious circumstances on one of the Cobalt Corporation's experimental oil extraction projects, Nova Terrell has grown up to hate the seemingly benevolent company that the town of Catch Creek, New Mexico, relies on for its livelihood, and thanks to the Mother Nature Project, its clean water. Haunted by her father's death, the rebellious Nova wages a campaign of sabotage and vandalism on the oil giant's facilities and equipment until one day she accidentally makes a terrifying discovery about the true nature of the, quote, Mother Nature Project, and the malevolent, long-dormant horror it has awakened, and that threatens to destroy them all. Holy run-on sentences, Batman. That is a lot. So the art, though, is really cool. It's it's almost pastel-y. It's very light. I'm not seeing like a lot of bold lines. It almost has a watercolor feel. It's really interesting. Definitely check out Mother Nature, especially if you've been following Jamie Curtis and her career. This is kind of a cool contribution. She's now dabbling in horror graphic novels. So, check out Mother Nature, and let me know what you think of the movie. I don't know if it's out yet. I'm going to have to look that up. All right, next up. This one's hysterical. This is called Plush. It is by Doug Wagner and Daniel Hillyard. We also have Rico Renzi as the artist. Oh, this came out August 15th. Serial killing, cannibalistic furries, plastic and vinyl creators. In this graphic novel, Devin Fulcher is coerced into attending his first furry convention when he accidentally happens upon a group of furries devouring a human. This insanity begins. Do they just want Devin for dinner, or something much more wicked? This cover is hilarious. I actually thought these were actual plushes, but we have a creepy cat, we have like a black evil goat, and then this doesn't even look like a furry. I don't know what this thing is in the very beginning. Some person wearing a silly mask with pigtails. Anyway, check this out. It's kind of hilarious. It's called Plush by Doug Wagner, Daniel Hillyard, and Rico Renzi. We have 3 more comics on this list. Next is Shaolin Cowboy, Cruel to Be Kin. This came out August 8th. This is by Jeff Darrow and Dave Stewart. In order to keep a newborn Komodo dragon from joining the endangered species list, the Shaolin Cowboy must first make him an orphan and then adopt him into the ways of the, quote, intercepting fist to keep their road trip from turning into roadkill. Oh my god, this is hilarious. When social distancing isn't enough, the cowboy has plenty of booster shots and jabs to keep a new army of foes, both new and old, from turning the situation ugly to bad and no good. This is wacky, and I'm not sure how dark this is, but this was definitely on Amazon's horror graphic novel list, so I figured I might as well include it in our list. This is Shaolin Cowboy, Cruel to Be Kin. Next up, we have True Cult, but the U's are V's, so very edgy. This is by Scott Brian Wilson, Liana Congas, Gabriela Contreras, and DC Hopkins is our letterer. This came out August 1st. It is a strip mall heist, a satanic cult, and another lousy shift at a minimum wage job. Grab a number 2 with fries and settle in for a hilarious ride. Marty Tarantella has been flipping burgers for like 15 years. He has no kids, no hobbies, no love interests, and essentially like no life except for burgers. But what he does have is a plan to change everything. Years of watching the daily rhythms of the neighboring stores has given Marty an idea for the perfect heist. But when he accidentally steals a supernatural weapon from a cult full of lunatics, the resulting satanic panic will be way above his minimum wage pay grade. This is supposed to be horrifying and hilarious. It looks really fun. Scott Brian Wilson has done Batman. Liana Congas has done Star Wars. She said Destroy and Razor Blades. Check out True Cult. This came out August 1st. Our last comic of today is very cute. This has got like some cute, spooky vibes to it, similar to like Over the Garden Wall. This is Twistwood Tales. This came out August 1st. It's by A.C. McDonald. It's got great reviews on Goodreads. Come and join Bucket Boy and the whole Twistwood gang as they live their lives in the forest. Twistwood Tales is a webcomic that was super popular, so now we get our own book. This is published by Andrews McNeil Publishing. From the worrisome loghead to the not-so-helpful Dr. Crowley to the terrifying fairy gourd mother and many more, the forest of Twistwood contains plenty of kind and magical creatures. Follow along as the characters explore moral quandaries, discuss mental health, and more. An extended story details Bucket Boy's journey to learn that he is a valuable friend, whether or not he can be useful. Aww. See, I'm going to have to get this. It's becoming just something, a theme in my life right now. This is Twistwood Tales. This is by A.C. McDonald. And that is our list of comic books that have come out during August of 2023. Stay tuned for more books. September is right here. I'm sure I'm publishing this literally September 1st. So you will find adult fiction novels that range from paranormal to serial killer thrillers to all sorts of crazy stuff. We also have kids' books, YA, and nonfiction reads coming up. We publish every Wednesday and Friday, so stay tuned. Also, make sure to spread the word about Dark Side of the Library to all of your spooky friends and family. And join us over on Facebook for our cook-along that we're going to be doing in our groups, especially if you're somebody that is trying to prep for Halloween and you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So this will be inspirational. And make sure to check out our show notes if any of these comics have seemed really intriguing to you. Thank you so much for your support. We'll see you next time.